One of the largest and most valuable phone maker, iPhone, is planning to shift its manufacturing bases away from China. This is coming in the wake of restrictive and lockdowns that China has been implementing in a country across, and there has been widespread protest at one of the major manufacturing base of Foxconn, which makes iPhone. Also, we have seen in the recent weeks there have been multiple reports of clashes between workers at the Foxconn factory in Zhejiang and also epidemic enforcers, police officials. There have been reports of multiple workers escaping the premise on their own after being frustrated for so many months of living in this COVID restriction. There have been reports also of Foxconn facility not being able to hold freshly recruited people in its facility, despite the fact that company promised a lot of bonuses. People were not ready to work at the kind of wages that the company was offering and under such restrictive condition, and they prefer to leave the company. So this turmoil has caused a lot of disruption in global supply chain of Apple. Also, the company Foxconn, which almost produces 70% of iPhone for the world market, is now saying that about 30% of dip in production is expected in the month of November. And also, if the fresh recruits are taken in and the training process is completed, and then they are put back on the assembly line production, it'll take several weeks before Apple could go back to its pre-pandemic or pre-disruption supply or production level. So for the coming weeks also, Apple is not going to have as many supplies as it had planned, and in the wake of Christmas and upcoming holiday season, this is going to be a huge blow to Apple's overall revenue and market and brand image. But what all are the options that company is exploring? The company has said that two major Asian Asian manufacturing hubs, India and Vietnam, could actually emerge as the manufacturing bases. We know that India has already started with one of the Foxconn's facility, and about 7 to 8%, it is believed that total iPhone manufacturing is or its accessories are manufactured in India. But in the long term, company plans to shift almost 40 to 50% of its phone manufacturing base in India, and Vietnam could also shoulder in by producing several of iPhone's accessories and other products, including iPods and latest gadgets the company produces. But uh, China is clearly not going to be the concentrated manufacturing hub that Apple has always relied. Almost 15 years of partnership of Apple, Foxconn, and China is now in turmoil, and very soon we can see Apple shifting its bases away from China. But there are other point also in this story, because China has always provided Apple with its political stability, a skilled workforce, and also despite there has been several confrontation and tension, military tension or economic tension between US and China. But Henan province, where this Zhengzhou facility of Apple is situated, has always been very supportive. The local government has always been very supportive of Apple manufacturing, because uh, this facility almost provides about 100,000 local population a job opportunity directly or indirectly. About 1 million people are directly or indirectly getting job from Foxconn factories working in Shenzhen. But in the recent weeks, after this turmoil, company has started shifting a lot of its equipment and accessories away to Shenzhen province. That is another facility of Foxconn manufacturing, and workers there are trying to tide over the shortages or the gap that has happened in the supply chain in the last several weeks of turmoil at Shenzhen province. But still, they will not be able to bridge the gap that has already been there, the shortfall that has been in the production. So, in that context, it is really important for Apple to have a long-term strategy and think about diversifying its manufacturing bases. The concentrated manufacturing base in China was long a concern, but somehow Apple has been able to manage the supply chain globally. But the recent COVID restrictions, and despite the fact that the world is going back to the pre-pandemic level of lifestyle, China is still imposing and implementing a lot of restrictive lifestyle condition across the country, which has impacted economically, which has impacted small industries, which has also impacted companies like Foxconn, where almost 3 lakh workers are living in huge Apple manufacturing facility. There's a it's almost like a city, but workers there living in restrictive condition, they were not allowed to go out. They were almost cut off from the outside world, and for months they had to live in this condition. And after that, they finally, there has been a lot of protest and people have started, leaving the company, which has given this huge downfall, huge shortage, huge of workers in the company. And now Apple is thinking a long-term strategy. But since Apple has been manufacturing a lot of products in China, and the company has another products also lined up, the luxury or high-end products are also manufactured in China. So if the company decides to shift its base, it will be a huge task, because while it has to maintain supply chain, its brand, its customer relationship across the globe, it also has to shift or create new supplier or new manufacturing bases away from its existing bases in China. So will or the company be able to do it, or how challenging it will be? That remains a question. But for now, it looks like something that is going to be a loss of China, because of its harsh laws are going to be an economic gain for other Asian countries like India and Vietnam, who can shoulder in the manufacturing capacity. And India has, in the recent weeks or recent years, there has been multiple policy changes which has allowed more manufacturing of especially electronic goods, becoming a major manufacturing hub in India. And there is a lot of skilled force also, which is now available for other companies or global companies to work with them. There are policies which incentivizes companies to create manufacturing bases, provide local employment. And not only South India, which is like Chennai, is one of the major manufacturing, has emerged as one of the major manufacturing base of electronic goods. But other parts of the country also, with various states also coming out with policies to invite investment and manufacturing bases, which will ultimately benefit the local population as well, in order to have more economic prosperity and job employment opportunity. So these are the local and domestic policies of India, which is kind of inviting international manufacturers to come and create or make in India. And with the latest supply chain disruption that Apple is going to witness across the globe, and the disruption in manufacturing facilities in China, it looks like India could emerge as next major destination or manufacturing hub for Apple, and maybe in future other international multinational companies also to have their manufacturing base and manufacturing hub in India.